Good morning, Dr. Amy. In this presentation, I'll be sharing 5 key things I expected to learn during the Operational Improvement course in my MBA, and how those learnings connect directly to my work at Force Australia. Now, at the core, I saw this subject as an opportunity to move beyond vague terms like efficiency or best practice, and instead get my hands around proven, practical ways to improve how a business runs day to day. I expected to learn things like how to make small, continuous changes that drive meaningful outcomes, use data to steer smarter decisions, create a culture of accountability across teams, manage trade-offs between cost, quality, and speed, as well as leading change in a way that actually sticks. For me, the goal isn't just to improve operations, but to make Force more scalable, more reliable, and more responsive. That means better service for our customers, fewer costs bleeding through the cracks, and a stronger internal culture of ownership and improvement. One of the first things I was hoping to get from the course was a clear understanding of how to design and execute continuous improvement initiatives. I wanted to move beyond one-off fixes or reactive solutions and instead learn how to embed improvement into our everyday operating rhythm. That's where frameworks like Kaizen, Plan, Do, Check, Act cycles, and the DMAIC from Six Sigma come in. These structured, iterative methods give you a way to test, learn, and refine changes over time. I was also keen to explore root cause analysis tools like the fishbone diagram and the 5 whys, which help dig deeper into issues instead of just addressing symptoms. And I wanted to learn how to scope, prioritize, and implement changes using lean A3 problem solving, a model that, as I understood it, brings structure and focus to improvement projects. At Force, this could mean things like launching quick win initiatives in service centers, such as improving parts availability or reducing job turnaround times, and then scaling what works across all of our 7 branches. It also might mean using the PDCA cycles to test new workflows at one site, refine them based on the results, and then roll them out nationally once we've got proven data. Even more importantly, it opens the door to involving our frontline team. By setting up Kaizen boards, we can encourage technicians to suggest and trial their own ideas for improvement, which increases not only the engagement of those employees, but then also surfaces insights that head office might miss. The second area I expected to build capability in was using data to drive operational decision making. I wanted to get more comfortable building KPIs, designing dashboards, and applying control charts to monitor performance over time. However, I also wanted to move beyond just surface level reporting and understand the deeper value of statistical process control. Statistical process control helps differentiate normal variation from actual shifts in performance, so leaders like myself know when to intervene and when to let the systems just simply run. I was also looking to explore visual tools like the Pareto charts or heat maps that turn raw data into clear, actionable insights. At Force, we've already got some useful reporting in place, but this course helped me to see how we can go even further. For example, we could track key metrics like service resolution times, fleet uptime, and technician utilization more rigorously, and then apply control charts to spot when job turnaround times move outside of acceptable bounds. We can also design branch level dashboards that show both lagging indicators like downtime and leading indicators like parts availability. That shift from reactive to predictive decision making can make a big difference in how we respond to operational issues before they affect the customer. Another critical area was learning how to embed a culture of operational excellence. It's one thing to run a few good improvement projects, but it's another thing entirely to build a team-wide habit of continuous improvement. I expected to learn things like operational excellence. I expected to learn about operational excellence frameworks, daily performance routines, and the role of visual management. Tools like Kanban boards and tiered stand-ups that create transparency, ownership, and rhythm across the team. I was also interested in standardized work practices, which create a consistent way of performing tasks, reduce variation, and provide a strong foundation for scalable improvement. At Forkforce, this might mean shifting away from head office driven fixes and building stronger branch level capability to own and improve their own performance. We can introduce things like daily Gemba walks to identify problems on the workshop floor in real time, supported by visual boards that track throughput, delays, and service key performance indicators. We could also roll out standardized work for recurring tasks like scheduled servicing so that every technician knows the process and every branch delivers consistent, high quality outcomes. A fourth area that I expected to explore was how to balance cost, quality, and speed, the three elements of the operations triangle. In reality, we're always making trade-offs across these dimensions, whether consciously or not, but this course helped me to think about how to make those trade-offs deliberately based on customer needs and strategic priorities. I wanted to understand how customer expectations, such as wanting faster lead times or lower prices, should guide how we allocate certain resources. And then I learned how to apply tools like decision matrices and cost-benefit analyses to get clearer on which option delivers the greatest value overall. For Forkforce, this plays out in several ways. We might decide to stock certain parts locally, even at a higher cost, because it might allow us to reduce job delays and therefore win more short-term hire work. Or we might segment our customer base to provide different service levels. Key accounts may require more premium response times, while transactional hires are managed more leanly. Even decisions like how we deploy technicians across jobs can be informed by the triangle. Sometimes paying more for travel is worth it if it secures a repeat customer or protects our service level agreements. And finally, I expected to learn how to lead operational change with a structured, methodical rollout plan. We've all seen examples of how even good ideas can fail if they're poorly implemented or met with resistance. And for me, I wanted to understand the different levers of change, such as the people, the processes, and the systems, and how to use models like Kotter's 8-step change process or the ADKAR to sequence rollout in a way that builds momentum and reduces friction. I also wanted to build skill and stakeholder mapping and change readiness assessments so that I could tailor my approach based on who is impacted and how ready they are to adapt. At Forkforce, that's particularly relevant because we look to roll out a new service ticketing system in the very near future. Instead of launching it all at once, what we could do is take a more phased approach, testing with one branch, collecting feedback, and refining the workflow before we expand. We could also nominate respected team members as change champions to support the rollout and coach others through the transition, as I mapped out in my bespoke 8-step Kotter's model for Forkforce in my first assessment. And by applying the ADKAR model, building awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement, we can ensure our communications, training, and support at Forkforce are both fit for purpose and aligned to the user journey. So in summary, the Operational Improvement course delivered a robust toolkit for tackling real-world performance challenges. It helped me to connect theory to practice in a way that's directly applicable to my role and any future roles I might have at Forkforce. From job turnaround to service consistency, from local ownership to national scalability. It's also helped me to approach improvement not as a set of isolated projects, but as a disciplined, data-driven, and people-powered way of doing business. And that, in my view, is how you build an operation that doesn't just function, but thrives. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation, and thank you for all your assistance across the Operational Improvement course.